You know, every single one of us comes with a biological instruction manual, our genetic code. It's the blueprint that decides everything, from the color of our eyes to how our bodies work. But what happens if there's a mistake in that blueprint?
Just think about it for a second. This manual is unbelievably complex. We're talking billions of letters long. So, what if there's just one typo? Or maybe an entire page gets smudged, copied twice, or is just gone? What happens then? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
When one of these typos pops up in our DNA, it can lead to what we call a genetic disorder. It's basically a condition that's caused by an abnormality, a glitch, in the genome itself. It's a problem in the core instructions that a person is simply born with.
Okay, this is actually a really important point to clear up. You've probably heard the words genetic and congenital thrown around, and a lot of people use them to mean the same thing. But they're not. A genetic disorder is a problem in the code. A congenital disorder is any issue that's present at birth. Now, that can be genetic, sure, but it can also be caused by something else that happened during development. So the simple way to remember it is this. All genetic disorders are congenital, but not all congenital disorders are genetic. Makes sense, right? All right, so when we talk about these glitches in our genetic blueprint, how do they actually, show up? It turns out they pretty much fall into three main buckets. Let's break them down. First up, you've got single gene disorders. Think of this like one single misspelled word in that whole giant manual. It's a tiny change in just one gene, but it can have huge consequences. Think of things like cystic fibrosis or sickle cell anemia. Then there are multifactorial disorders. These are more like a smudged page in the book. It's not just one thing, it's a mix of your genes and environmental factors, like your diet or lifestyle. And finally, the third type, and this is what we're really going to focus on today, is chromosomal disorders. Now we're talking about something big, like an entire page of the instruction manual being missing, or maybe there's an extra copy. Okay, so let's really zoom in on that third category, chromosomal disorders. This is where we see these really big structural changes to our genetic library, right? Entire pages getting added or just straight up removed. So there's a scientific term for this, for having the wrong number of chromosomes. It's called aneuploidy. See, a typical human cell has 46 chromosomes, arranged in 23 neat pairs. Aneuploidy is simply what happens when that number is off. Say you have 45 or 47, it's really the big umbrella term for the conditions we're about to get into. One type of aneuploidy is called monosomy. Pretty simple. It's when one chromosome is missing its partner. So instead of a nice pair, you've just got one sitting there by itself, where there should be two. And the opposite of that, as you might guess, is trisomy. Just like the prefix tri suggests, it means three. This is when you've got three copies of a chromosome instead of the normal two. So in our analogy, an extra page has been slipped into the blueprint. And here we go.